Welcome to Road to Billions Podcast, the mentality of an entrepreneur. With your host, Moise Bertrand.
Hey, what's up, everybody? It is your host, Season 2, of Road to Billions Podcast, hosted by me, Moise Bertrand. I'm excited for you guys to listen to the second season, man. There's so much information, so much new insight. I feel like this season is going to be called Transformation of a Character. It's not the episode name, you guys. So this season, man, I'm just laying out everything that happened to me in season 1. But, of course, I took a mini break on the podcast. I kind of got my mind right. A lot of things went on in my life at the time that I felt like I was just more so just having to go through it myself, of course. And, I learned new insights and lessons and some of the biggest things that I want to just teach people in life. And I'm trying to get, people to learn is that you are only strong as your mind. So, like I mentioned before, this season 2 is going to be transformation of a character, putting your mind in the right places, identifying lessons, understanding what blessings and lessons are, trusting your gut information, and just everything that you feel like you weren't ever, ready to see for things for what it was, you're able to see them for how it is now. So, this first season that I just finished up with, of course, everybody could say that was a great season. I kind of, finished things off, not letting people know that was like my last season, But, I'm human. So I really tell people all the time, I'm really having a Gary V mindset with the Jay-Z attitude. And, I have a DMX type love. I'm identifying and I'm trying to now figure out, is this another stage of my life? And I feel like it's so confusing that I'm happy it is, because this is where I'm sitting down with myself and I'm identifying what and what I don't want in my life and how do I want to do it. The things I'm, of course, motivated by. So this first episode of season 2, I want to introduce you guys to, identifying yourself. So, this season is going to be pretty much talking about everything from self-improvement to realizations to ideas to finances to just insights about different things everybody always asks me questions about. I don't feel like I'm the smartest guy in the room, but I do feel like I do enough research that just puts me at a good place in life, I feel like. So I want to talk a little bit more about this episode, and I'm going to start it off with, when you're identifying yourself, correct? You have to know a few simple things that a lot of people may oversee. So what I mean by that, if you're a person who is not really, talkative or communicative, and you don't really like to speak to people about certain things, it's kind of hard for people to really understand you for you. And I had a problem like that. I had a big problem. My season 1, I was speaking, but I wasn't being heard. I was talking, but I wasn't being understood. And I was really trying to figure out, why is it so hard for me to get to some people? And I knew the way it was happening in my eyes, I thought people didn't like me or anything like that. And I was like, well, I never cared if people liked me or not. I want to get that out there. But, I just always felt like I give genuine love out to people. So why people wouldn't understand me for what I am, what I'm trying to show them, being generous and, just being the whole 9 yards of being a great person. So, me speaking and not being understood or heard, it kind of built frustration around me, and it kind of made me start having this, I'm not saying narcissistic attitude, but I kind of just fell off where I just felt like I had to reevaluate everything in my life. And I'm not saying narcissistic like anything negative. I want to put it in the terms where I just felt like everything around me wasn't really helping me. It was draining me. So I kind of took a step back, of course, and I realized some certain things in my life was happening because I was too busy not seeing everything for what it was. So, that's the first thing I had to learn in business too, as well. Like, you have to understand your business. Like, I have a marketing company, and the first thing I always tell people is, I'm going to take your project like it's my project, and I'm gonna write it out, and you're gonna love it because I'm taking my time with your project. I don't have 30 clients a month. If a marketing company tell you they have 30 clients, please believe that your marketing is going to be oversaturated, or is not going to be, of course, if they have a 500 employee marketing. But I just feel like it's always good to have a 4, 5, 10 member team of a marketing company, just because you want to have a personal relationship with clients. And that's what I try to, of course, have a relationship with. I just try to teach people how to market themselves, because, if I could teach you how to fish for yourself, you will forever be grateful for me teaching you. And I felt like I do something great. So I felt like, business is one of the key areas in life. If you are starting a business, you have to understand the dynamics of the business, and you as a person have to understand yourself. So, I learned that I love talking to people, and sometimes I don't need to be heard to be understood. Sometimes I feel like some things I say is for the betterment of whoever needed to hear it at the time. So, I don't feel like nothing goes in vain. And I understood that was a lesson that I learned, because a lot of people be like, what you told me was very inspirational, man. That really stuck with me. And a lot of people been tipping their hat down to me, and been, saying we've been having some real conversations. I've been having some real, uneasy conversation with people, uncomfortable, but I'm starting to learn that the most uncomfortable things are the comfortable things in life. Like, in order to be uncomfortable, you have to be willing to do things you're not willing to do normally. And I had to face my fears. I had to learn how to speak to people, and I had to let people know I'm not here to play. And I was letting a lot of people know that, I just felt like they were great people in my life, the people who were in my life. And I just let people know, you guys are appreciative from everybody around us, and I'm appreciative of you for being around me. And I let people know that now and then. So, me identifying that I had to speak to people how I wanted to speak to. If I had a conversation in my mind, am I going to speak to this person the same way? And I have been delivering. And everything happens for a reason, because, sometimes I underestimate my value and my worth. And I tell people that, and they be like, okay, you should just let me know that. Like, I didn't know you felt like that. And then the whole time I'm like, wow, that's really simple. It's the same thing. Like, I keep going back to business because, this is a business oriented, but it's a growth personal podcast. You guys have to look at business the same way. Your business is going to start off shitty as fuck. Like, you don't have to jump out the gate being Bill Gates. You don't have to jump out the gate being Jeff Bezos. Like, no one gives a fuck. I promise you going to mess up 1,000,000 times before you just strike gold once. Yeah, it's real sick. It's real, it's life though. Because you have to learn to appreciate the certain things that you have. If you don't appreciate the process, how could you ever devote knowledge to somebody else? And I feel like I have, I stopped working when I was 22. And I told myself I'm never working for somebody again. It's not because I want to be cocky or anything like that. It's just because I want financial freedom. And I feel like I'm the type of person where I'm a great problem solver. Like, you could give me 1,000,000 problems and I'll be able to solve each and last one of them. I didn't tell you a time frame on them though. And that's where people get confused. So you just got to know how to be okay with yourself. You got to know how to understand yourself. You have to know how to see what you are as a person. And then whatever that is, you just make a circle. So you just let yourself know, hey, Moise, I'm communicative, problem solver. I'm humorous. I'm humorous with people I'm with, my social life circle. I'm a great problem solver, negotiator. I can also just be in my zone when I'm passionate about certain things. So I'm already knowing what type of person I am, so I can't act no different. People know me for me. People know me for being an entrepreneur. I always tell people you should always do things in life that brings you the most joy, because you can't take time back. So I'd rather be broke my first 5-6 years after college. Yeah, that's okay. Because when I pop, I'm popping for the rest of my life. And a lot of people want to just, pop. It's okay if you don't have that 6-figure job in the first 3 years, 4 or 5 years of college, because you don't know what problems that came with for certain people that got that job. They probably, now everybody's around them asking for money. Now they don't know financial literacy. They got that job and they're blowing through. They're into debt now because now their living expenses went up because they had a poverty-stricken mindset. They didn't learn financial. And I'm not trying to, tell everybody, working for somebody is bad. And I'm not trying to tell everybody whoever has a six-figure job doesn't have financial literacy. I figured that over time you will learn how to manage money, which I felt like I've been doing, pretty well in my life. I didn't work in over a year, 2 years, and I just been feeling like, well, it's about to be a year. But I just felt like certain things just work on itself and certain things just continue to do great things. But I just feel like certain things in life you have to just know how to work on. And being around the right people, understanding your mindset, understanding your goals is being real. You have to stick to those things. You have to abide by those things. You have to identify yourself. You have to understand that, you could have $1 million, but if your morals and principles aren't solidified, how could you ever be someone you say you are? You have to understand that your inner circle is only a reflection of you. So, I try to keep it real with everybody around me. I let them know, if you want to, be a great person, start with yourself, because no one's ever going to give you homework every day to do that. I don't have to tell you to be a great person. Someone's going to come up to you and you're going to cause some trouble and they're going to pop you in the mouth. And then you're going to learn how to be a great person eventually. If you don't, well, that just means you're just a bad person. And you just have to realize everybody isn't on the same time as you. Some people have real life problems. They're ready to go do some crazy things. And that's why I tell everybody, I hope you guys, continue to do this in your life, but just pray and manifest great things into your life. Just be the person you want to be so everybody else could be attracted to you. You don't have to be the person who has to be out there. You don't got to be the person who got to be on every scene. Everybody has a role in life. There's the social person. You have the negotiators. You have the money makers. You have the partiers. You have the, community related participants. You have everybody who plays a role in life. Doctors, nurses, engineers, contractors. Everybody has a role in life. And you're not going to fit in a role you don't, of course, relate to. It's not going to work. That's why I tell everybody, you might as well spend the first few years of your life building something that you could say you actually worked for and that you grew with. Because I take Navineeds, my baby, as, my company as, I took this company and I just embedded in my mind that we're going to be the best company ever. I'd be telling myself, listen, we're going to do this. We're going to do this as a team. Me and Ivory, we're going to do this. Boom, 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 boom. And it's because we always doing things in such of an organization to matter. Like, we have things we want to plan for the next 5-10 years. And the only way we're going to get that is just realizing that we have to go through the rough, the good, the perfect, the poor, the broke, the rich, the wealthy part of life. You have to do certain things in order to get to the next level of life, and you have to learn how to appreciate where you at in life in order to appreciate the next level. Because if I get $100,000 today, I'm going to be so appreciative of that. If I get $1 million, I'm going to be so appreciative of that. But if I say, man, I want another million, man, when the next million coming? Now I'm not being appreciated because I was just down $900,000 and I just got $1 million into my account. And now I'm tripping over certain things. So if you become someone of a prominent nature or, a very stable person in life, realize that you continue to have morals and principles that you have to abide by. You have to identify your roles in life and identify yourself. I tell everybody all the time, set your boundaries and move on in what life. It's boundaries for a reason, because if COVID tells you 6 feet away and you get too close to me, I'm feeling like you're going to just play around with my space if we just literally just stand 6 feet apart. It's not because COVID made it more, personal space more relevant, but it's now because we all see the sign on the floor that says 6 feet apart. So think about that as being your boundary in life. Let no one cross that boundary, and you don't cross anybody else's boundary. But you don't do that you only achieve that if people see you setting your own life in stone. Someone has to know that you know yourself in order for them to identify what you're relevant with. So, chase your dreams, man. Each year, each month, each day, each minute, each hour, stop bullshitting If I bullshit, I understand I bullshit, but I bullshit on certain things, but I'm not lacking in other things. But if you bullshitting all your fucking life, you're going to be bullshitting. And, a lot of people don't want to talk about this, but you're going to be poor and broke. If you bullshitting, you're going to be poor and broke. No one wants to talk about that. No one wants to talk about being in poverty-stricken environments. No one wants to talk about that. Everybody wants to talk about riches, but do you know how hard it is to just make sure you stay rich and to become wealthy? A lot of people don't understand that you can't appreciate one side of life if you don't know the struggle of the other. So realize that, chase your dreams, continue to be yourself, grow as a person each and every day, continue to just grow, learn information, continue to be a child, continue to be fun, continue to be humorous. Don't take life too serious. Communicate how you feel, communicate your goals, speak your goals out into the universe. Just walk amongst men, walk among women. Don't be someone who is overlooked because your actions don't align with their words. You're a great person. Let the world know that. If you're a creative, let the world know that. If you're funny, let the world know that. Because I'm not going to ever assume what you tell me. I'm never going to assume. I'm not going to take your word for it. Okay? I'm never going to take nobody's word for it because you just told me. But until you show me, okay, yeah, now we got a ball game. So appreciate you guys, man. Welcome to season 2 of Road to Billions, Transformation of a Character. I'm so grateful you guys stuck through this first season. We up to like 1,000, 2,000 downloads. I'm not really publicizing it much, but just know that you guys are listening. People are listening, subscribing each and every day. I'm going to drop a YouTube video. I'm about to start my YouTube channel very soon, probably the week of after the May 12th week. Next week, I'm gonna drop a video and start a YouTube channel right after. So you guys be sure just to check my second podcast. I will be dropping the name of the YouTube channel in there. It will be on my Instagram page at Billionaire Moise. And you guys just understand that you guys are great. Continue to chase your dreams and stay tuned for episodes 2. Thank you so much, guys, and have a great day.